members, my name is Paul Fitzsimons. I'm coming here from Darwin, and with me is Brian Kelly, who's a past president of the AHA in the Northern Territory, and indeed in 1998 faced the same perils that you have over the last few days with the Katherine floods. Brian's got a few tips, and I thought it'd be nice for him to pass on some information about some of the experiences he had when in 1988 his premises went underwater. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Paul, and good morning, members. I just hope that you get some valuable tips out of what we've put together for this morning.
We certainly sympathise with people in Queensland. You certainly felt the wrath of the flood, Brian.
And we found our property in Katherine wasn't expected to go underwater, but in fact it went about 2 metres underwater. And I suppose we learnt as we went, and if I have to make one significant point here, the quicker we can get the flood mud out of the buildings, the better.
Okay, on that note, what did you actually do to get rid of the mud?
Obviously all equipment is in short supply, and everyone wants it at one time. We were able to hire high pad pressure cleaners, and we had gen sets. And we had a bit of advice from some of our suppliers that probably more significantly that they suggested that we pressure clean all our electrical equipment, in particular our TVs and fridges. And you might be surprised to know that out of 130 rooms we had 3 TVs that didn't work after we'd cleaned them out. The mud is very acidic. It's imperative that we get rid of the mud as quickly as possible.
Another factor, of course, Brian, once you're cleaning up, is we've got to consider other stakeholders in the industry, and one, of course, are the suppliers. They're going to be stuck as well, aren't they?
And yes, we did, and I'm originally from South Australia. I was fortunate to still have suppliers in South Australia who could supply us. We obviously need all new carpets. We need all soft furnishings have got to be replaced. It's a mammoth job, and unfortunately everyone's in the same boat, and particularly in Brisbane now. Okay. So we did use a lot of interstate suppliers just for the ease of being able to get the equipment in.
And another sector, of course, is the banking sector. No access to banks when it hit in Katherine?
No, and we're talking 12 years ago, so obviously the banking system is different now, but we obviously had no checkbooks or any way of doing electronic banking. Probably it's not, as I say, as significant today, but credit card limits need to be lifted almost immediately just to give you something to work with. As you're aware, the suppliers are also going to be in the same boat if you're trying to deal with them who have been flood affected.
Okay, Brian, let's go to insurance companies, because everyone will be given the task, I suppose, to make a relationship with the insurance man.
Yeah, we chose our insurance company. I have to say, were excellent to deal with. They are aware that it's a huge problem that's occurred. We didn't wait for them to come along and do all the assessing. We took many photos. And they accepted what was there. I don't think it achieves anything by waiting for them to get on the ground, and I doubt if Brisbane will be any different to Katherine, where there was many assessors flown in from interstate to speed the thing up. The thing I cannot stress enough, the thing is to get rid of that mud as quickly as you possibly can. It's acidic, it's a shocking smell, and once that's cleared, it makes a world of difference to keep on working.
It's presumed that volunteers have actually come from all over Australia to help out in the clean-up. If a publican has a group of volunteers arrive, are there any tips for how to coordinate things?
And we have got a view, and obviously it's a biased view, that we believe hotels are some of the first premises that should be got up and running again. A, for the provision of food, provision of accommodation for the workers that are coming in. In Katherine's case, there was busloads of people coming down from Darwin, but obviously we didn't have the accommodation to supply to them all. But your key workers, it's imperative that we get them into the site and as quickly as possible.
And of course we've got to look at your potential customers and the importance of online communication.
I think it'll be a lot easier to handle the communications these days than what it was in '98. But where new problems will probably arise, I presume, that weren't evident to us, and obviously ours was a much more localised flood than what the Brisbane one was, what the Brisbane one is.
Okay, so the idea would be get online as soon as possible, let people know what's going on in your premise. Okay, Brian, well, our sympathies certainly go to everyone in Brisbane and in Queensland, full stop, but any final little tip you'd like to give?
If there's anyone that would like to run some things past me or whatever, how we handle them, etc., I can be contacted at Darwin Airport Resort. We're operating 24 hours a day. It doesn't particularly worry me when anyone wants to talk to me. If they feel they need to know something at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it's not going to be a problem to me. But I stress, and I cannot stress enough, is the fact that the clean-up is paramount. It's important to get out before it gets too dry. Obviously, trying to get hold of a skip bin, etc., is hard. We chose to dump a lot of our rubbish into a corner of the property and just brought a tipper in with a bobcat and cleared it away as and when required. There'll be problems that will occur to you that won't have occurred to us, just as we probably had some that are vice versa. I wish you the best of luck. You've got a lot of work in front of you. I hope it all works out. We were very lucky that we ended up with a far better property after the flood than what we had before. Thank you.
Brian Kelly, past president of the AHA in the Northern Territory, and the AHA here extend all their regards to people in Queensland.